All right, we'll go ahead and, are we on? Doesn't look like it. Okay, we're ready? Okay, we're gonna go ahead and call this April 4th, 2024 Utility Commission to order. And if April would call the roll.
Mr. Sayers, Mr. Ball,
Here.
Mr. Reinhardt,
Here.
Ms. Bisenberg,
Here.
Mr. Gant.
Here.
All right, for the record, the chairman failed to notify me of the change, but a couple seconds ago, we got the thumbs up that he is not coming. So I will be sharing the meeting. And we will go to the minutes. So everybody had a chance to look at the March 7th, 2024 minutes.
I make a motion. Accept the minutes?
I'll second the motion.
Any discussion? All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Minutes are approved. All right, the adjustment journal is up next. It's good to see the bulk water is still rolling out.
Pretty busy here.
Does anyone have any questions about this, or is there a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve the adjustment journal for March.
I will second the motion to approve the adjustment journal.
Additional discussion or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Adjustment journal is approved. All right, new business. We have a Greg Talbot for Merida Drive. Do we expect him to?
He said he was coming. I haven't
Okay,
seen him.
what's
I have that for Marma.
Sorry, for Marma. I was looking at it wrong.
No, that's his name too, Greg Talbot.
Talbot.
From Marma Drive. Yeah, he wanted to speak about his sewer backing up, but he didn't come in. So
It is a known issue, and the repair to fix it is out to bid and will open next Friday. If he's here, we will come back to it. All right, the lime silo contract entered into as an emergency no bid contract by City Council and Dr. Tom Marshall is our next item of discussion. So Dave's probably gonna want to be part of this.
Yeah, I'd like to.
So I have a whole stack of emails, and I do not have the signed contract. I'm not sure where that is. It is confirmed that Rick Zick did sign it.
I did not bring it with me, but I'm pretty sure I have it in my emails because the day we found out about it, the engineer from IMS emailed me a copy of that signed contract.
So I have a July 8th, 2022 revision 4 is what I have. So I think this is the one Rob has reviewed. This has been going, I guess from my perspective, this was a promise of they take care of everything. And we have been going back and forth with them really ever since Tom left, encouraging them to take care of everything. We got an email, I think, make sure Dave is on this, Wednesday, April 3rd at 5:35 p.m. with updated drawings and a promise that Kokosing is still providing a quote for basically the demo and the install.
I just read that email myself.
So I don't know, Dave, give us your perspective.
Well, they're wanting to move forward with the change order approval. In their email, they're talking about how they're waiting on us to go ahead and approve that change order, and then the equipment can go into production. My opinion is until Kokosing comes in and fulfills their part as far as making sure the slab will support the weight of that silo, I don't want to move forward with any equipment production. I mean, because at that point we're committed. I mean, that's my perspective on it. And so to me, they've dragged their feet for a long time having Kokosing come in to get that slab. It shouldn't take them that long to come in and do a test bore on that slab and just do the engineering to make sure it's adequate. They seem hesitant to do that for some reason. That's my opinion. You know,
I don't
And-
disagree. They asked us to do it for them several times. And
Yeah.
we said that that's not the deal that was authorized by city council.
right. Yeah, per Dr. Tom, when he set this all up, he wanted a turnkey deal. He wanted to hand it to them. They said, yeah, we'll do everything. And that was the agreed upon arrangement, which, you know, probably has tied their hands, but it's tied our hands as well, so.
Right. And then the change order that's referencing, just for everybody,
Oh.
Tom was going to replace the silos as is, which creates an enormous amount of work to operate them for our staff and potential injuries, dragging hoses, and the situation that's out there now is a temporary solution when they didn't set the plant up correctly. 24 years later.
24-year-old temporary solution is what we're working with.
And so Tom's plan was to replace these silos in the same fashion with the temporary solution. So we had discussed a change order with this group to raise the silos to the correct elevation to eliminate the temporary hose dragging and the, you know, to get the elevations to line up with the tanks so that the water from the slaker in the silo could flow into the clarifier as originally designed, but not built.
Correct.
It would be a lot more efficient doing that instead of watering our line down to transport it up to the clarifier.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I have to believe is affecting the efficacy of our lime as well, because we are watering it down prematurely, so that's kind of stops the reaction. Once you hit it with that cold water, it stops the reaction at that time. So once it hits that cold water, it's only reacted as much as it's going to, and you need that to react as completely as possible in order to perform its function as softening the water when it actually gets into the raw water flow.
Yep.
Addition, it's a constant mess. It's extra equipment. It's, you know, the water plant utilizes somewhere around 100,000 gallons of water a day for its processes, and a big chunk of that is running that line process because of the additional water we have to use
Yep.
just for that. So, yeah,
It's real money.
yeah.
Did part of the turnkey service involve the design of the sort of replacement of the temporary system? I mean, they in other words, did this contractor design that?
We've guided them a lot along the way. I mean, we've had multiple back and forth. They present something and then we say, hey, the elevation's wrong, and we send it back. We're working on basically what the legal term would be shop drawings for what we want built. So the first set was, they forgot the staircase. So they're up here with no way to get to them. And so we had to say the turnkey also involves a set of stairs to access the equipment, and it's just been an enormous amount of back and forth. And
Yeah.
the amount of time we've spent is a bit embarrassing because the project could have been bid
Yeah.
and in a competitive fashion. And, you know, we've had several real emergencies in these devices since this project hasn't been done. I mean, you had a major failure of the backup one, right?
Correct. Actually, Josh and Lee just got that one running yesterday, but it's tenuous.
Yep.
You know, the set point controller still does not work on that unit, which is what kind of started us down this path of, look, we got to get these replaced. And so they're still, they've got it rigged so that if we have to run it, we can run it, but it's not a long-term solution.
Yep.
And we were supposed to have the final numbers back in October for the change order.
Yeah.
And we were
Yeah.
so really no further ahead than we were.
Do you, I mean, I guess the question becomes, do you want me to start the process to end the contract? I mean, it seems to be that that's where we're sort of dancing around. I mean, or do you want to see what they can do this month? You guys tell me what you want me to do.
Is there I presume there would be a cure period if we were to give them a notice?
Well, I'm gonna have Dave send me the signed copy
Okay.
because I've reviewed what I reviewed several iterations of the contract
Yeah.
as it went by, and I'm fairly certain the one that I've looked at recently is the one that was signed, but I'd actually like a signed copy.
Yeah.
And so I can start on the process, now to give them the opportunity to get off their butts and actually do something.
Yep.
Was there any type of timeline in the contract
Oh,
Of a
they've,
of a complete?
Yep.
Yeah.
You've exceeded it.
they've blown way past it.
Well, the part of what they're going to say is that, well, we were waiting on the city to design the catwalk and the staircase. And then we didn't realize that. And then we said, well, when we had our meeting and said, hey, they ask us, where's the design for the staircase? We're like, you have to provide a complete product. You are supposed to be designing the staircase.
Pay someone to build you a house and they don't
Yeah,
include a
so
door.
they claim they
Problem.
waited on us a long period of
Right.
time, but it wasn't our duty to design
Yeah.
the catwalk and the stairs. We gave them concept drawings as, being familiar with our facility, what we would prefer, but they're still supposedly the designers of record, if that makes.
So why don't, if this is what Utility Commission's pleasure is, I will start on the process by sending them the nasty gram, starting the clock running so that by next meeting, we can know one way or the other whether they're actually going to perform or we'll do something else.
Right, because we're not gonna sign off on shop drawings with this unknown change order out here.
Yeah.
Of, hey, we know it's gonna cost more to raise these up, but we need to know a firm number, and we've asked for that. I don't know, we'd have to go back through, I printed out this,
Yeah.
Can-
So let's do this. So
I'll get you the
can
con- yep.
email that to me today.
I will.
And then I'll draft the nasty gram, I'll circulate it so everybody can see, make sure that they're okay with my choice of language. And then we'll get that out here by the end of the week. All right?
Yeah, just one thought, just to make sure I understood. It sounds like there's also this other issue of Kokosing needing to do a test bore within the slab. Is that in any way factoring into the timing and the delay?
Well, from their perspective, yes, but they're working with Kokosing, not us.
Okay, so
They
this is a sub.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
This is a
Kokosing
sub.
is their sub,
Understood.
not ours.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
what they were trying to get us to do the geotechnical work, the catwalk design, a whole series of things. And we took this project over when Tom moved on, and then was like, well, wait a second. Dave and I had a meeting. I was like, wait a second, this is a complete project. And we went back and reviewed the city. I was there. I don't know if you weren't at the city council meeting.
I was not.
But we reviewed the minutes from the city council meeting and saw that Tom essentially promised city council in most certain words that this company was taking care of everything. So when Tom took over operation from me, Dave and I had entered a contract with Hazen and Sawyer to design a set of bid documents so this project could go out to bid.
Yes.
Tom felt that project was not moving fast enough and wanted an immediate solution. And we have kept the contract with Hazen and Sawyer because, we've asked them to, review work products along the way. And we've had them, we had them in several meetings to help us, catch pitfalls that, and we don't design lime silos on a regular basis because we still have the
Right.
two original ones. So we've kept them on board as our expert consultant, because we were gonna have them design it from the beginning, so.
Okay.
All right, Rob, do you feel we need a motion, or we're not really taking an official action other than asking you to write a letter?
Well, this will start, as everyone understands, I think it's a 30-day, I forget if it's 30 or 60, but it'll start the clock, and by next meeting, we should have this is just incentivizing them to actually do what they're supposed to do.
Great.
Okay.
I don't think we need an official motion at this point, but we would, April, or the next meeting, that would be, we would put that in the old business, so we don't lose track of it. Any other thoughts or questions? If anyone wants a set of documents to read, we'll get the official
Get the contract.
signed contract out. You know, that.
When you were referring to the change order, do you actually have the change order or you're waiting on the amount?
We have the general wording of it, but they have yet to provide us a number.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
That's what I thought
Or
you were saying.
if they did provide us a number, there were things missing.
Yeah, yeah, I don't believe I've seen an actual number on
Yeah.
that, no.
So the
So-
the change order is the making it taller. So we're basically putting them on stilts and then making sure the foundation can handle that extra height. We have the original ground results from when the plant, Tom was able to find those from, what is it, REI?
REI, yeah, they did the original bores.
So we
Yep.
found those, but then we do not have tests on the physical concrete slab. So when we're taking something and making it taller, there's more wind load, more force on it. And we don't have any inspection reports or any information about the thickness of that slab. So it needs to be drilled, the concrete needs to be tested.
Yeah, in fact, I mean, we know what the prints say the slab should be, but that doesn't verify that the slab is what,
There
what
are
the
no
prints are. so,
official, like,
Yeah.
construction inspection or photos or anything from the
Yeah.
construction record for that piece of equipment, so.
Yep. So, okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
All right, we'll keep rolling on that. All right, Aaron's up next with pipe fitter truck for distribution and collection.
Here it's time to upgrade one of our pipe fitter trucks. Good with a bigger van, it'd be a 6500 GMC heavy duty series with a box on the back for all their storage and everything. It does exceed the $75,000 limit that we purchased. Total would be $112,242. Everything was budgeted at the beginning of the year.
Is this under state bid or are we sending it out to,
They have matched what state bid is for this truck. So
all right. Cool.
we would just need
Great.
probably a motion to forward it on to council.
Approval.
I can't remember, am I able to make a motion at this meeting? Because I can't, okay.
So was that 112,000 within what the original budget was?
Yeah.
What was budgeted?
Yep. Yeah, so we would be making, the motion, whoever wants to make it, would be a recommendation to council to procure this vehicle.
I'll move to approve.
I can second that motion.
Great. All right, we have a motion and second to acquire the 6500 GMC. Is there any discussion? I guess I do have one question. Does this vehicle require CDL?
No.
Okay.
Kind of like the one we have now. If you've seen that one running around town. Looks kind of like an ambulance.
Mm-hmm. It's a water ambulance.
It would be 2 foot longer than the one we have right now. So give them a little more storage.
It's good.
They're getting this truck set up very nice.
We've had a couple times where we've had people show up that didn't have the right tools to turn water off in emergencies, and it's caused some serious problems. So it's time to upgrade. So
And it saves a lot of trips from the water main break or whatnot back to the shop. Eliminates all that to carry everything.
What do you do with the one that currently have? Do you just keep that in use
We will
as
put that
well,
on,
or do you?
Gov deal.
Yeah.
somebody may want to take it to the fairgrounds. I'm not sure. There's we haven't adopted the new conflict of interest policy. Okay. Perfect. Okay, let's. I'm ready for April. Let's do a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Ball,
Yes.
Mr. Reinhardt,
Yes?
Ms. Bisenberg,
Yes.
and Mr. Gant.
Yes.
All right, it is adopted, and we will. Who should prep
Well-
this for council?
if you guys can get me a little bit of information, I actually, late yesterday, ended up with something from the fire department that I'm gonna sneak onto the agenda for Monday. So if you can get me some information before the end of the day, I can add this as well.
Okay.
Yeah, you got it. I think.
Yeah, I
you
got
have. I think we would.
The quote right here.
Well, just whatever we need to do, and so.
Yep. All right, let's get it rolling. All right, so next on the agenda, discussion of new sanitary sewer system on the west end of town. So the west end is this. We'll say for the folks we use, like we were just talking about ODOT terminology, right? This part of the west end we're considering north and south of High Street, American National Can to the Cocosing River, bounded by the railroad tracks. So that end of town, we did a pretty thorough study on it. I'm trying to think, 3 or 4 years ago, we had an intern from Bowling Green, Ian, and we surveyed all the manholes and we checked the slope of the sewer system and the condition of it. And that area of town was designed under the concept that they took sanitary sewer and storm drainage. So every time it rained, you got a good flush. So it's not built to the current standards for sanitary sewer. And if we don't have stormwater in it, then we physically have to take the truck out and flush it every so often. So it's an aged system. Installed very flat. The west end is very flat for many of you that are familiar with the area. So we've taken our intern did preliminary design, and we have kicked that over to CEC, Civil and Environmental Consultants, and they're working toward detailed design for the whole area of town, including the elimination of the Harcourt Road sanitary lift station. Basically, at this point, the project, we know that north of High Street, the full replacement would be above $6 million. The general philosophy that we're going with is we are looking at a neighborhood community development project north of High Street, and that requires us to do 5 different types of infrastructure, one of which would be sanitary. It's unlikely that we'd be able to get the whole project done. You know, we may do $1 million worth of sanitary work in that project. It's unlikely we would do $6 million. South of High Street, the only thing we have that looks like a good grant opportunity is the US EPA has a program called the Inflation Reduction Act, and the area south of High Street is qualified by the Environmental Justice Screening Tool. So we're planning to ask for funds for that. For the environmental justice, we're going to go ahead and probably wrap in the sanitary extension for Parrott Street, some water extensions in Clinton Township, sidewalk projects. It's something where we can ask for more than $10 million. So, I don't know, look at Rob, is that something we should vote on to request permission to ask for grant money? The CDBG folks have had, I mean, they're having, I think, 6 public meetings, and so with over at the B&O once a month all the way to June. So that's an issue that people have brought to our attention at those public meetings, are sanitary backups and issues.
I think it would be a useful political tool, because that way it tells council and the citizens of the city that we have listened to your concerns. This is what we're going to do. We're going to apply for this so that they can see that we are making concrete steps, it also keeps council in the loop as where the utility commission and the utility are working. So I think it would be useful in that way as a way to get out the information about how we're moving, and so that people will see that, once again, we're just not ignoring the West End.
What does the environmental justice grant, does that have anything, like what is that? It's the first time I've ever heard of that.
This is a new program. There's the Inflation Reduction Act was a federal program. It has been delegated to, part of it to the US EPA. Another part of it was delegated to the Ohio DNR. We applied to the Ohio DNR part for tree planting. They said we had a good project, but they denied it. The US EPA program is any type of utility infrastructure in the qualified area. It is very broad. It includes sidewalks. We can apply for funds to change out individual non-compliant wood-burning stoves in people's houses. So it's a very broad, it's very new. We've watched some webinars on it. The basic thing is they're looking for projects that are ready, and it's an open application, I think, until sometime in November. And we can we have the opportunity to apply twice, so we can put an application in, and if they deny it, we can request a outbrief, and then they can give us feedback, and then we get one more shot. And we're competing nationally against the entire United States. But
Right.
you have to be in a environmental justice qualified area, which we have one area that overlaps with Clinton Township. So it's a census tract, I think is the right word. So the CDBG is a block grant, which is the small piece. The
Right.
next one is I think the word's tract. So this is the bigger section of the census. So that's from High Street, includes all of Foundation Park, the area we call Dogtown, Buckeye Addition, all the way down to I believe to the Clinton Township southern boundary. Includes the country club. Yeah.
Is the eligibility criteria for the grant, is it neutral for rates? I mean, would we have to make any rate adjustment for end users in order to qualify or anything like
I
that?
think they'll probably take that into consideration. They did not mention that at
Okay.
all in the webinar.
Yeah, no, I mean, if it's neutral to that, why wouldn't we? Right?
Yep. Yeah, again, so the idea is our Parrott Street project that we've talked about, it's about 7 customers. The health department is considering it a critical issue, but it's hard to bring the project forward when it's $1 million of money to hook up 7 customers. And the health department they have a very poorly funded program that is only for homeowners that are owner occupied. So the business district where we're having these sanitary issues, we're not connecting any homeowners.
On Parrott Street?
On Parrott Street, yeah. So the Parrott Street extension is the part that doesn't have, so Brenneman Lumber and Blue Balls have sanitary service. Everyone else does not. And there's some really old septic tanks in the area. So we would include that project for the US EPA. The other projects we've kicked around are the water system extensions on Kentucky, Pittsburgh, Crystal, and Johnson Avenue. And then potentially eliminating Westgate as a water system. So they buy bulk water from us and then run it through plastic pipes and mark it up quite a bit. So those folks from Westgate who are in the city have petitioned us several times to help them out, but it's not an easy lift. If we had grant money, I feel it's an appropriate project. I don't feel that it's an appropriate project to spend cash on since they're already serviced and they're a private system. We would get extra points if we eliminate a water system, so that's kind of that win-win. Separately, the Knox County is willing to partner with us to do a residential public infrastructure on Crystal Avenue. So there's really sort of 3 grants in play. The county has the opportunity to pick a project every 2 years outside of Mount Vernon. So we are partnering with them in Buckeye Edition. Project we're doing there is a county's project, so. I guess I'll summarize this because I know we want to keep it going. I think what we'd want to frame is that this commission offer 3 letters of support to the different grant applications. So it would be one for the neighborhood community development block grant, one for the Inflation Reduction Act, and one for the county Crystal Avenue community development block grant project.
Yeah. We need a motion for that? Yeah, I'll move to approve those letters of support.
I'll second to approve those letters of support as well.
All right, any discussion? The US EPA will require a resolution by city council for that application.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure about the neighborhood project.
Well, let's just,
But this
what
is
we'll do
for-
is we'll roll. What's the timing you're thinking on this?
The CDBGs are due in June, and then we're not ready. We do not have all the information. I don't have the cost estimate for the EPA part
All right.
ready to
So,
bring to council.
I
so
don't need
not
to
yet.
get it on for Monday?
Nope.
Okay,
Absolutely
that's
not.
fine. So,
Okay.
that's fine.
All right, April, let's do a roll call vote.
Mr. Ball?
Yes.
Mr. Reinhardt?
Yes?
Ms. Lisenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Gant?
Yes.
Great. Combined motion is adopted. We will draft 3 letters of support for the chairman to sign. Any other additions to new business that we have overlooked? And we have not heard from Mr. Talbot at 4 Marma Drive. But we can, if you have his number, I can reach out to him because this issue is known and we have projects out to bid, so. And we'll probably need a right of entry to go on his property and fill some storm drains, so. Okay, is there any old business that we have overlooked? And next is other time with Brad.
I just wanted to go over a couple of things for progress wise.
Yeah, we're glad to have you.
I laid the new kind of draft of the bill with our new provider that we're working with. We do have some fixes already on the docket. She's working on some of them. But this is pretty close to what the end result will look like. We've added the QR code at the top, which will take them directly to our online payment system, which I think will be helpful. On the back, you'll notice that we used to draft our own Word document of information that we would add to the back of the bill when we had extra information. This back section now will ride on the bill all the time. So a lot of this information is questions that we get on a regular basis or information that we try to add on a regular basis. That will all stay there. We can make changes to it whenever we need to, but most of that stuff at the bottom will ride every month. And there's some corrections there, so don't pre-read it yet. We're still working on it. The top section where it says utility news will be the area where we can add things that are important to seasonal, or if engineering has something they want to get out, or somebody throughout the city, other departments, we can provide information at any given time, and that's really easy for us to make changes. We just get on their website, put in the information we want to, and it'll come out on our bill. So super easy, way less work than what we've had to put into it in the past. And then also there'll be a watermark that's added to this that they're having a little trouble getting it to look right. So she pulled it off for this, but there'll be a Mount Vernon emblem in the background for a watermark to kind of make the bill look a little bit more official. So. But I just wanted to give you guys an update and show you what it looks like. Also on the back, we're adding another QR code in the rules and regulations area, because a lot of times we have questions about rules and regulations. Most people don't read the fine print, and I know we talked about getting our signatures for the service agreement and things like that on. But we want to add a QR code to the back of the bill that'll actually take them to our online rules and regulations so that they can review them anytime that they want to.
That'd be helpful.
Yeah. So I actually had that put on here, but then we killed Power DMS and the link broke. So I have to figure out where that's gonna live and add that QR code.
Don't
Where-
worry, the website's getting killed next, so.
Yeah, so whenever we actually determine where that's gonna sit, I will get the QR code added for that. So, do you guys have any questions or concerns about the new bill layout? It's changed quite a bit. We had it drastically different at the beginning, and then as we went through things, we tried to line it back up with being a little closer to our original bill so people weren't too shocked by the new bill, and we tried to make sure all the information was lined up in the same area so it was easy to understand.
Looks good.
And there'll be perforations and return envelopes, which I think will be the most popular part of the whole thing, so.
That'll be awesome.
And then the other thing that I wanted to mention was May 1st is when we're scheduled to change our shut-off policy. So I just wanted to bring that up again to everyone, if anybody's watching online. The most important and biggest change thing will be that water will be turned off day one and not turned back on until day two. So we'll do all of our shut-offs on the first day of shut-offs, and service will not be returned until the second day. So I just wanted to make sure that we're voicing that as much. We've put that on the bill every single month. I think there was, Aaron's brought it to the media a couple of times, so
It's
that
been
is,
announced at council as well.
yeah. So next month, that will begin our process for the month of May. So,
And then they have to pay in full, right?
yeah, and then also pay in full is the other big one, yep. So,
That
I just wanted to bring that
reduces
up
it
again.
to, what, a maximum of 6 shut-offs per year.
yeah, it ought to forcibly be 50% reduction in shut-off, so.
Yep. That'll be very helpful to our workload.
Yeah, and we got a substantial amount of pledges this last month, so that's going to help a lot of people too. So we should see this year being improved a lot as far as quantity goes.
Very nice.
Do you guys have any questions about those things? All right,
Good work, sir.
that was all I had.
One other note of something that may be coming, the longitude and latitude neighborhood has basically their stormwater system, they don't have an HOA, it hasn't been appropriately maintained. There is a neighborhood effort to petition this commission to potentially join the private stormwater utility program. They have not circulated that yet, but just maybe if you have time in the next month, if you can find it on the website, look at our rules and regulations under section 6 of the stormwater rules and regulations. So remember, we have water and wastewater rules on those tabs, and then under stormwater we have a separate set of rules and regulations for stormwater. So maybe worth taking a little bit to read. It's a short section, but read about that. It mirrors the concept of a ditch petition that the county has been allowed to do since sometime in the 1800s, but the cities are not. So just something that may be coming. There's a lot of energy to get something taken care of up there. So we are planning to do our required inspections. We're required to inspect every private stormwater pond in the city every 5 years. And honestly, since 2014, we've not completed that once. So we're continuing to try, but it's a heavy lift.
Are those scheduled yet or still like in progress?
We do a few,
Okay.
yeah,
Working on them as you have.
yeah, we try to do them either with staff or so we've been doing the ones in the Coshocton Avenue TIF district because it doesn't drain our utility funds. So we've been doing those with consultants. And then we're getting our new technicians trained and sending them to some classes, and Quentin's been really instrumental. He has a lot of stormwater experience, but we have a lot of construction projects that we can't walk away from to go do those inspections. So we're getting there. I think the EPA understands that most municipalities cannot go inspect all of their ponds every 5 years. There's a lot of ponds that have been mandated. I don't even know the total. Questions? Anything else for the good of the order? Is there a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn?
Second that motion.
All right. All in favor for adjournment, say aye.
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 Those opposed? We stand adjourned. Thank you for your time. Could've got that extra vehicle, you know.